It's your weekly breakaway for fun conversations on pro cycling. Come and join us for another ride in the team bus. I'm Matt Harper, and together with my brother Justin, we'll do deep-ish dives on professional bike races, teams, riders, and all sorts of cycling-related stories. And we might just sprinkle in some other shiny pop cultural objects along the way. So jump in the saddle and tighten up those shoes. The road awaits. Ale!
Hello and welcome to the Team Bus. I'm Justin and this is my brother Matt. And today on the bus we're headed to Mallorca for the proper start of the European Pro Cycling season for the men. The Challenge Mallorca races. This unique event is essentially a series of one-day races that cover the island. This year's event saw the very unusual inclusion of a team time trial, a discipline which is only rarely done in the pro ranks, but which will be included as a stage in this year's Tour de France. Because of that, many teams were keen to use the Mallorca event as a testing ground for the Tour, most especially Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, the team of World Time Trial champion Remco Evenepoel. As fate would have it, the TTT was not the only place where Remco would feature in this year's challenges. We're also going to review the men's AlUla Tour, the men's and women's Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road races, the Grand Prix Marseilles, and the Pioneer race. And we'll even squeeze in a little chat about the Cyclocross World Championships. And as always, we'll finish out with another ride in the Broom Wagon. Ale. Welcome to the show. We have got a lot to cover, so we'll just jump straight on into it. Start with the AlUla Tour?
Yep.
All right. So 5-day stage race, and this is the first appearance of modern pro adventure cycling. So that was kind of cool to see.
In their maroon, all maroon kit.
Yeah, with like the gold filigree.
Yeah. Plenty of sports washing going on over in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
And first big appearance of Mr. Jonathan Milan this year, right?
Yes.
We haven't seen him yet, right?
This is correct. We have not seen Johnny Milan yet.
There with a strong team, and stage one is always going to be a sprint finish. He had basically Gaviria challenging him.
Yeah, I mean, this was basically like let the wind push you around all day and then come down to a sprint.
Yeah. A little drama earlier on with Jan Christian of UAE, who was the overall race favorite, crashing.
Mm-hmm.
Whole start, like first several stages of this race were kind of a mess for that dude. Shredded his jersey. He's all pissed off at the motorbike that's like right next to him. He's like waving the guy off. It's his second crash of the day. But credit to his squad for getting him back up and in touch with the peloton, so he's not losing GC time or anything like that. He doesn't get back until like 3.5 Ks to go.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a sticky bottle situation as well.
Yeah, so Milan and Gaviria are away with like a small front group, 2.2 kilometers to go, and they're only about 10-12 seconds in front of the peloton. Milan's got two teammates with him, so Gaviria is just like locked on his wheel, and it's pretty exciting whether or not they're gonna be able to stay away from the peloton. But they got some pretty fast guys up there, and ultimately they are able to stay away. And what happened?
Jonathan Milan did what Jonathan Milan does and smoked Gaviria and took the first stage and got his first win of the year and looked very good. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like the week got away from him in the end, but but looked very good in the first couple of days for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing how that sprint played out too. You had Timo De Jong from Picnic, who like kind of pulled a cheeky move, sneaking off the front, and Kofidis is there with a support guy for their rider, Frenten. But they inadvert so they close down the De Jong move, but Milan is right on that guy's wheel. As he closes it down, he inadvertently gives him a lead out, and yeah, so Milan wins over Milan, Frantin, and Moschetti, with some great camera work at the end. They got one of those cool side shots, where you've got
Hmm.
they have a little track set aside for the camera bikes to ride right next to the guys as they're finishing, and you get a really really good one of Jonathan Milan. Fabio Jakobsen was not even close. Gaviria in the end only manage eighth. Let's talk about the presentation area for this race. Completely bizarre. They're like in a hotel lobby. Like it's so weird. So many strange things about these races.
So my thought on it is that it's windy and sandy and it's probably miserable, and that is probably their way of dealing with that.
Yeah, I guess. Just I don't know. They just do things a little differently over there. I I enjoyed hearing the familiar voice of Sep PK doing the interviews at the end. Sending Sep all the way over to Saudi Arabia. So Milan goes into the leader's jersey. I think the leader's jersey in this race is green, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he goes into the green leader's jersey, uh, heading into stage two. I threw a couple of pictures of the kit for modern adventure cycling in my notes. That is a pretty cool kit. I somehow I kind of like that it's all one color. That color is kind of works.
It
Um,
does. I feel like there could be just a splash more. Maybe the gold could be wider or something. I don't know. I feel like
but it's pretty clean all in
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. It's
Especially
very
like you
clean.
look at the logo across the chest, and it's got that cool design on the lower portion. And anyways, did you see in stage two when they went past that site Hegra?
Like the you're talking like it looks like Petra. It's like built
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
mountain.
yeah. It
Yeah.
looks like Petra, yeah, with the stones carved into the side of the mountains. It's so wild, really a wild. Um,
Well, this
so in this,
this this race gives us a lot of like. I will say this: they do a good job of promoting their what's to see in these regions. You know what I mean? I think this was the race last year where we got the crazy building with like the mirrors on it, right?
yeah, I thought, and somebody said in something I was watching this week that like the mirror building is coming at the end or something like that, but I
I
never
never
saw it,
saw it.
so
Yeah.
it might have been part of stage five, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not gonna lie. It was hard for me outside of the first day. It was hard for me to find this outside of being live, and I was doing so much show prep that I would just do like the 5 minute, recaps on this race,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
especially the later stages.
Yeah, well, on this stage we saw Jan Christian, still having belief despite his crashes earlier the day before, taking out bonus seconds in the sprints. However, somehow after the first stage, he was like 30 seconds back. So I know that they never caught that leading group, and he must have been separated off of the main peloton still, because yeah, he's down by 30 seconds in stage two. Uh, Jakobsen drops out with leg cramps, which was weird because like Timo De Jong was obviously strong the day before. That's his lead out man, and was totally up in the mix again that day. But uh, Jakobsen leg cramps. I think he's cooked, man. He needs to retire. Um,
Yeah, I mean he's a non-factor at this point. Um, when it does come down to the sprint, the one thing that I want to say about Little Trek, their lead out ought to be studied by every team in the pro peloton. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are writing the book on how to lead somebody out. Like it
Yeah,
is.
they hit that U-turn that they would do
Uh,
before the finish, and there was like one, two, three, four Lidl Trek, like boom, all four of those guys like heading into the finish. I think it was Ed Tunes, Sodakavist, and Consoni were his teammates.
and they just they're they're poised, they're in control, and they know exactly what to do, and they know exactly where to put them. And it's no wonder that both of their sprinters have such success on that team, and it's because maybe outside of Alpecin, like they probably have the best lead out in pro cycling.
Yeah, yeah, it was very strong. I mean, the turn that Consoni gave Milan from like 300 to 150 meters was just like sick, and Milan was just like so capable of closing that deal after that lead out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you know.
It was almost like it was never really in question. But yeah, I had the note that the Little Trek lead out should be studied.
Yeah, yeah. So Milan maintains the green jersey, heading into stage three on Thursday, which I, like you, I was only watching like the end of the
Mm-hmm.
race. Did
Did
you
you
see
catch
that
the
crash?
crash?
Oh
Yeah,
God, that was
I put a
so
link
nasty.
into I put the Lantern Rouge breakdown of it in my notes. That's gnarly. It just
Yeah,
looks
I mean,
so fast, and like the surface that they wrecked into. Those are some of
yes.
the biggest rocks I've ever seen in
Oh,
my
it's just
entire
nasty. They're just
life.
like nasty, sharp, pointy rocks, like all over the place, and
I mean,
like
some of
they're
them are like
big.
four
Like
fists big. I mean, they're
yeah,
huge.
yeah. And yeah, Lawrence Rex was I think took took the worst of it. Also, Fabian Grelier of Total Energy. Um, Rex's kit was shredded worse than any kit I've ever seen. Like God, ugh, so bad. The finish of this race was just crazy. It was like an endless 9% uphill, crosswinds, echelons over the place. I mean, it was like basically slow motion. 1K to go, and Jan Christian detaches himself off the front of the group and gets like 8 bike lengths. But he's being hunted by Udlalio from
Yeah,
Bahrain,
Bahrain.
Igor
Yeah.
Arietta from UAE, and they catch Christian with like 500 meters to go. At first, it was like looking strong. It's like, oh, here it goes. All right, now he's gonna like put the stamp on this race. It's stage three. The sprint stages are over, and here comes Jan Christian to defend his title. Not so much. Not so
No,
much.
because it looked like it was going to be Higuita, Aiello, and Christian, and it ended up being none of them.
Yeah, out of nowhere comes this guy Yannis Wassard from Tudor Pro Cycling, and he and Higuita are the only two that can really maintain any kind of cadence in the end. Higuita launches the sprint out first with like 250 meters to go. The UAE guys are both just washed. Eulalio and Wassard
Yeah,
try to answer Higuita. And basically Eulalio brings Higuita up to the end to fight it out with Wassard, but it's not to be.
yeah, it was a win for Tudor Pro Cycling.
Yeah, very cool. Good to see Tudor on the board for the year.
Yes, it
Uh,
is. Yes, it is.
no, that was a very exciting finish though. I really enjoyed that. Those like uphills like that where there's like five or six guys just kind of scrapping and lead keeps changing like that. So
Yeah, no,
exciting.
it was a much more interesting finish than the first 2 days. That's for sure.
So
That takes us to Friday, stage four.
another what looks to be going to be a sprint stage.
Yes, I pick it up at 3K.
And I believe Wassard took over the green leaders jersey, so Milan was sprinting in red that day, which was the points jersey.
Correct.
And basically this thing is coming down to the sprint.
I wanted to make a point that at one like 1.5 or less uh, map modern adventure pro cycling was working the front really well. I was
Yeah,
like
they
really
have three
impressed to
guys.
see they were like really trying to control that front end of the tip of the spear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bahrain was looking good as well. They had big numbers on the front. Jayco was looking
Yep.
strong. They had Pascal Ackerman and lots of guys out front. But it comes down to Milan, one v one with Matteo
Matteo Malucelli.
Malucelli from Astana, quirky little Astana. And
I love it when I see when somebody from Astana wins,
I
especially
know,
beating a big name like Johnny Milan.
indeed. And sure enough, Milan gets beat.
Yeah. On the replay, you can really see that Malicelli played it perfect. I mean, he absolutely, you know, put in the exact move that he needed to be able to win that race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's set us up for stage five. We got a hilly stage ending with like a super steep climb up to like a plateau that's then going to be like really, really windy. I think it's supposed to be like one of the absolute like windiest stretches of the entire year for pro cycling. Um, and I tell you what, the vistas as they're climbing up that thing, just amazing. You're just seeing this like enormous valley behind them, and
Yeah.
it's just all like brown and red rock. Some pretty stunning views.
It's interesting. I clocked it as interesting. It's like we get so used to seeing green, lush, vistas and beautiful water and rivers and creeks and mountains and all this like very European. And so when you're in these races in the Middle East, it's very interesting that you even though it is so desolate and different, it does have its own beauty.
Oh, for sure, 100%. And it's just cool. We've talked about it many
Hmm.
times. Just having a diversity of terrain and the fact that our sport, plays out across the, stunning landscapes of the world. So it's stage five, and this is Christian. It's do or die time for Jan Christian, um, last year's winner. He is down 30 seconds going into this stage, I think, on Higita, right?
I believe so. Yes.
And has to, dispatch him with no problem. Now there's 10 bonus seconds on the line as well.
Hmm.
But I would think it would have been nervous times for young Christian, but he kept it super cool, I felt like, on the stage, especially on the climb.
Yes, I mean I picked it up at 3K to go, and he had the front by 10 seconds. He had
Well,
30.
let
Sure,
me just
go ahead.
mention, like on the climb, of course, Peloton comes apart, and only the strongest guys are out there. Um, you had the aforementioned Sergio Higuita. You had that guy Munton from
Oh, don't worry.
Modern
We're going to talk
Adventure,
about Munton.
um, and I think where Christian went really, really right was in not trying to destroy everybody on the climb and putting himself at risk. He knew that as long as he was in the first clutch of guys, 4 or 5 guys, once they got up on the top there, that he had the biggest engine and he would be able to distance them in the crosswinds on the top of the plateau, which is exactly what he did. Almost as soon as they hit the top, he makes a strong attack and gets a good 10, 15 bike lengths almost instantly, which is probably where you picked it up.
Yeah, so he had like 10 seconds on off the front. He had 30 seconds on on the group with Higuita, and at 2.2, he's still on the front. Byron Munton from Map is 10 seconds back. All right. So, I am super rooting for them to get a stage win. I don't think they're going to do it, but ultimately it it is essentially outside of those two guys are going to take it all the way to the end, which is really nice. Obviously, Jan Christian's going to get the win, but Munton gets second, so that's the best finish for that team all week. And I was really really glad to see them get second place, and I thought it was so cool to see them in the mix at the end, which I was not expecting at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that team a little bit more. I mean, it's just like I have just such mixed feelings with like the whole like Hincappy and the Lance Armstrong rehabilitation project and all that kind of stuff. I know that it's all kind of tied in there. So, as much as I kind of want to be excited for this new American team that's on the scene,
You have
and
reservations.
and racing against the big boys, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bittersweet for me. What I did want to mention though was Christian's finishing uh, uh, gesture, the Bane mask. Did you catch that?
No,
Yeah, he did the Bane mask as he was
that's crazy.
coming across the finish line, which was pretty cool. So,
And we did get an American in third. It was UAE's Kevin Vermeerk did take third, so we did get an American on the podium for stage 5 as well.
I see. And Jan Christian is our overall
Yes,
champion, defends his title.
yes, he does. Yes, he does. Um, Anything else to be said on the AlUla tour?
Nah, it was I don't know. We hit the points. It was a fine race.
It wasn't as good as last year with Pitcock.
No.
Um, we were going to cover the women's Surf Coast Classics and the men's Surf Coast Classic. Those races were canceled due to the fire risk, extreme heat.
Yeah.
So there was no midweek racing in down under. Um, but we did have the Cadel Evans road races at the weekend, but we'll get to those. Why don't we?
Well, wait a second. Did you watch the criteriums?
No, I did not watch the
So
criteriums.
so I think they replaced the Surf Coast Classics with the criteriums because we didn't see any mention of those beforehand, and then suddenly they were there and available. So I can run you through those
Yeah,
real
no,
quick. I can
please.
check those out. So as stated, there are little criteriums there in Victoria, um, a little like 2 or 3 kilometer circuit. Um, really cool environs there. There's like it's like on the coast. And one thing I wanted to point out, they had this like swimming area that was like so cool. Basically, there was like a beach, and then there was a boardwalk that formed like a semicircle coming out from two spots on either side of the beach like this. And then you could walk out there, and then they had an area out at the top of the circle that was like had other docks in it, and it looked like there was like a whole like diving thing and stuff. So it's like a big sort of contained swimming area in the ocean. I was just like, so freaking cool. You gotta love Australia. Basically, on the women's side, you had Georgia Baker, Josie Nelson, Marta Locke, Ruby Roseman Gannon, all in the mix. Coming into the finish, it was not a bunch sprint per se, but there was fair a fair number of riders up in there. Um, and Your winner was Martina Fidanza of Visma Lisa Bike, who
Yeah,
bested two SD Works riders, Marta Locke and Barbara Guarici. Um, and interesting, SD Works is just like they are not the team of old. Like they've kind of been missing. I feel like the last couple of weeks of coverage that we've done here, we've not spoken too much about them. Now, sure, they're more, I guess, Grand Tour focused or whatever, but strange that they're not really doing anything yet. Um, unusual compared to past couple of
Hmm.
seasons. Men's side, Welsford gets another one for Ineos. This was a very exciting race. There was like a group of like 8 guys contesting it out in the finish. For the last couple of kilometers. You had Jensen Plowright, Lawrence Pithy, Sam Welsford, Mateo Sobrero, Kel O'Brien, bunch of names. And this time, Welsford had no lead out. He had no teammates. He had to freelance this whole thing against some, great bike riders. And he played it pretty well. He kind of stuck on the front and just like kept an eye out, stayed to the left so nobody could come around him on the left, and just like kept watching. Lawrence Pithy uh, tried to come around him, couldn't get around him. Jensen Plowright, really strong challenge at the end, going for the line, but the Wombat holds on and gets another win in Australia. So I'd have to say that all in all, Welsford's Australia campaign this year has to be considered a success, even though he didn't take down 3 stages in the Tour Down Under like he did last year and the year before, I believe. Still pretty successful in my estimation.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Um,
those are the criteriums.
well, since we did that, you just want to go ahead and do the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road races.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Uh, all right. So on Saturday we had the women's race. Um, Out of everything this may be, I watched a good bit of this, but I was extremely distracted while I was watching it. We had something going on here at the house, and so I was like in and out trying to keep an eye on it, and it was tough. It was tough to
That's all
watch.
right. I got a decent amount of notes. I mean, your main players here, of course, Ali Wollaston is
Hmm.
the defending champion, and there is a climb at the finish that's pretty nasty. And the big question of the day is, can Wollaston keep contact over that final climb to be able to contest the sprint? The short answer, yes, yes, she can. So you had Noemi Rug out there. You had Magdalena Valera as a world champion. Maggie Coles Lister, who won that. She won the 1 day race, right?
Yes.
The Australia 1 day race, and Wollaston is there as well. Mavi Garcia figured in this race. She took out the first climb that was for Queen of the Mountain points, and also won the second climb, which put her in the winning spot for the Queen of Mountains. But she also figured into the final run into the finish. You also had the likes of Lauren Dixon, Josie Nelson, Amber Kroc, Sarah Von Dam of Lisa Bike, her teammate Rosita Reinhut. You had Wladacek there. So a lot of hitters, and basically up the climb. Reinhoot makes a big move, gets a gap, and basically destroys the group, and gets into a group of like 5 with Mackenzie Coupland, the Aussie champ from AlUla. You got
Hmm.
Wladacek of UAE, Josie Nelson, a picnic. Wollaston's back in group 2, suffering, but she's got a couple of teammates there, and they are pulling it back together. Um, Amber Kroc is the superstar of the team for FDJ, just bossing the front for Wollaston, who's she brings the group back together, and then Wollaston just stays on the very back of the group, um, and just manages to gather some strength up heading into the finish. Where did you pick it up, or do
I
you?
mean, I saw the whole run into to the sprint, so I was locked in for the sprint. And what I will say about Ali Wollaston is at, at the point where it really comes down to the final sprint, she looked very strong. Like, I was quite surprised considering what the previous 10K, how well she acquitted herself in the end.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she basically she barely got up to climb on the very back of the larger group. She sits in on the back for. a number of kilometers, I think, like I said, just trying to like regather her strength. And then like as it starts to get critical, you see her almost immediately just like move up, and she just jumps back in like fifth wheel. So now she's like positioned. Um, Naomi Ruig, who I figured was like her biggest competitor here, is right on her wheel. I mean, she knows where to be. She knows where the wind, is going to be directed at. But Ruig kind of falls out of it in the end. I don't even think she
Yeah.
top five the thing. And Wollaston comes through and does it again, makes it 2 years in a row for this race.
Yeah, just
Clean
smokes
set,
the field.
clean set of wheels. Team had numbers. Her team had more numbers in the finish, and it made a big difference.
Yes, it did. Yes, it
And
did.
did you see her boyfriend Kel O'Brien from Jayco there at the finish? Like,
No, I didn't catch
just being
that.
like, that was amazing. You're awesome. The moment I really loved best though was what was right after she finished her interview, which I believe it was Caleb Ewan doing the interviews as well. He's just like jumped in with both feet into the commentary world. Um, the minute her interview was done, her teammate Marie Lenné in the French tricolor runs over and is just like, "Oh my God!" Oh, I guess she hadn't seen her yet, and like gives her this huge hug and like drags her over for a team photo. And then like in the team photo, Lene's like, "Fuck yeah!" And Grace Brown on the commentary is like, "We apologize for a little colorful language there." Um, so you think this race is like run by the same organization that does the Tour Down Under? Because like I noticed that Stuart O'Grady is like all in the center of this thing as well, doing the podium presentations and all that kind of stuff.
I would assume that it's all like one big, Australian cycling season, thing. I know they're in two different areas of Australia, but my guess is that the same. I mean, it makes sense that the same people that organize that are the same people that organize the Tour Down Under.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly got its own identity and everything in terms of like the brand identity, but
And I mean, they obviously
run
are
run the
entertaining those
same way
riders
very
for
well.
3 weeks down in
Yeah.
Australia. So
Yeah, and it's a good package that they put together as well. Couple last comments on this one. Mackenzie Coupland gets best young rider. This woman's on the come up. I think that's a name. We're going to be seeing that name a lot this
I
year.
agree.
The Australian champion. And I did want to just mention that all three of the women on the podium lifted up that bottle of bubbly and took a big swig at the end. Good on them for that. You want to do the men's race now?
Yeah. So that takes us to Sunday, or here in the States, Saturday night at 9:30, where I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
I did throw this on and watch it live. Um,
I was a little preoccupied at that moment.
it's pretty like honestly like up until like the last 25K, it's not really much going on.
Nah, not
Vi-
at all.
Visma is
First of all, why is Robbie calling this race solo? Where's Phil Liggett? Like, what's
thank
going on? Come
you.
on, man. This is like a
That was
big 1 day
that
race.
was the
Like,
very first thing I noticed. I'm like, Robbie doesn't have anybody with him. My guess is I don't know. I don't know why Phil's
maybe
not in the
Phil is
mix,
sick or something.
but I would assume that it's Robbie by himself because you had all those other guys covering all those other races that were happening in Europe, and since he's obviously in Australia, it made more sense for him to be covering it.
Yeah, I mean, in the promo stuff, you hear Phil Liggett's voice, so he has done this race before.
Hmm.
So I wonder if like
Maybe he
he,
wasn't feeling well or something.
yeah, definitely possible. But I agree, there was not a lot going on in this race until we got down to the final kilometers, heading into the inevitable bunch sprint.
Now I will say at 25K, Chris Harper gave us
Yeah,
a little bit of a ooh, what's going on here? Him and Anders Skarseth.
yeah,
All right,
from Uno
take a
X,
little
right?
take a little flyer off the front. And they're still out all the way up to 13.7K to go.
A lot of the names that we've been seeing throughout the Australian
Mhm.
section of the year are here. Mauro Schmid, the defending champ. Matty B's in the mix.
Yep.
Lawrence Pithy. Adam Yates is there. Ben O'Connor. Harry Sweeney. Um, yeah, so there's some names here.
And then after the climb, you had Boitrago and Luke Lamperti on the front.
Yeah, Plappy did a nice job of trying to
Yep.
destroy the group up that climb, but like he couldn't quite break it all up. And as you said, Lamperti, Trago still hanging in there. Yates, Schmid, Brennan, Lund Anderson, what's that guy? Gate,
Hmm.
all there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Brennan catches as well. 5 to go. It's all together. There are attacks
Yeah,
everywhere.
Betrago realizes like his last real chance is going to be on that final climb, which ends with like 5.5K to go.
Yeah,
But
and there's just
the
attacks
sprinters are still in the
everywhere.
mix. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just attack city. Marco Brenner's there. Pat Eddy's in the mix. So
I thought it was interesting to see how close to the front Matty Brennan was in the closing kilometers here.
and
Like
but
normally,
then he got like faded way back.
yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Like normally he just sits back there, like he's one of those like I'm gonna hang in like 20th position, until the very end, and then I'll move up in the last 2 kilometers kind of thing. And instead, 4 kilometers to go, and he's up on the front, like
Right. Well, and I think
you can
it's
see him like trying
interesting.
to slow down and stuff like that, swinging off to the side.
I think it's interesting that he knew to be on Tobias Andresen's wheel.
Hmm.
All right, and they get to that 1.5 mark, and he's still behind. Tobias Anderson, and then you know it. He ends up launching super early, in my opinion. Like, and I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Like, well, he drifted back, so he lets himself drift back after he was out in the front. He drifts back, and he's like back in 10th or 12th or something like that. Like you said, he's kind
He's
of got an eye
way
on
back.
Andreessen, and he moves up a little bit, and by 1 kilometer, he's a little closer to the front, and old Plappy makes this move with 1K to go. And Brennan covers it immediately. So now he's got a full kilometer to go and he's second wheel. And it's not like Luke Plapp is going to win the sprint. Um,
And
so
the
he's,
role
he's,
reverses to where he's now doing the lead out. So he's forced to end up going first,
yeah, I mean,
and
he
that does
starts
him in.
sprinting with 400, 500 meters to
Yeah,
go.
and it was
And
way
Lund
too early.
Anderson, Lund Anderson, who's already demonstrated good form. He took out one of the stages of, I think he won that first stage of the Tour
Yeah,
Down Under. So, he's on good form and he's able to come right around Matty B
and he
and
got the points jersey too.
close the deal.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he won points at Tour Down Under. So yeah, closes the deal, wins again, does a great turn. So um,
A strong start to the season for him and uh, and Luke Rowe will be quite pleased.
oh, I'm sure. You have anything else on that one?
No, I don't.
All right, well then let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we will head to the beautiful island of Mallorca. Stay with us.
Don't miss Beyond the Slipstream, our weekly companion podcast to the Team Bus, our domestique, if you will, dropping every Saturday in your usual podcast feed.
Welcome back. We are headed to the beautiful island of Mallorca for the Challenge Mallorca. And the first race on Wednesday was the Trofeo Calvia. First impression was it looked to be very wet. Second impression, Rob Hatch and Adam Blythe on the call, baby.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
what a wonderful surprise
I
to
just want to go on record as saying that I I freaking love the Mallorca challenges.
yeah, they're pretty great.
Like this is a cool event. That place is amazing. You get Rob Hatch making his debut for 2026 and at least for us. Yeah, I'm so here for it. So here for it. Now, it sucked. This weather really sucked.
Yeah, pretty much the whole way through, but
At the same time, it's bike racing in January on a windswept island. So,
yeah.
you know,
What can you expect? One note I want to make about Adam Blythe. Did you catch what was going on with him?
I don't know what you're
You
talking about.
see, and maybe I'm crazy, but this is all you heard anytime Rob was talking, all you heard was
Oh, he had
he had
like a really sensitive
like a
microphone.
wheeze going on or something, or like he had a cold or something.
I've heard that. I've heard that on other broadcasts many times. I think it's when somebody has like a really sensitive microphone, it's like just picking up their breathing, but because you're hearing it, it sounds like there's some kind of fucking problem.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely sounded like you know you know heavy breathing,
Yeah.
but it was
I
like
mean, I can't
it
say I
was
made an
taking
active
me
note
out
of
of
it.
it so many times throughout
Interesting.
the race where Rob would be saying some poignant thing, and all I could hear was Adam breathing.
Yeah.
I also a note on the broadcast. I really think it's interesting. Rob had so many cool insights into this race because apparently he lives on Mallorca.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is his home.
so it's very, very, very interesting color commentary from both of them this week.
It's also the home race of one Enric Mas.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes, he is.
and as we also learned from Rob Hatch, it is I believe which team did he say? Did he say one of the teams that was fairly successful in this race? Mallorca is like their winter training camp.
Yes.
I have it in my notes later, but yeah. All right. Yeah, so I don't have a lot in the way of notes. This is the one day that I didn't really watch much of. I just kind of caught the end. Um,
I I picked it up with 23K to go. There was a three-man break off the front with George Steinhauser from EF, um, Adne Holter from Uno X, and Adrian Boichis from Red Bull Borough Hansgrohe. Morgado is in the chase trying to catch Hector Alvarez from the Spanish national team. Um, and I just have to say, dude, again, that Spanish national champions kit is so good.
yeah, somebody was complaining on it later on in one of the later races that it would looked like the old Movistar uniform
That was
with
Adam.
like
Adam said they look like the old movie star, but I think it looks
yeah,
so good, man.
but it's not like the one we saw a couple of weeks ago or a week ago that was like had like fire or something on it. It I felt like it was a little bit different, but still I like the look overall. I'm with you.
Yeah. Um, Groups 1 and 2, were pretty much about to catch each other. Um, Morgado and Alvarez kind of jump off the front, and with 12K to go, they're pressing their advantage, and
Yeah, they just like duked it out in the end, right? The two of
yeah,
them, right?
pretty much. Hold on 1 second.
With the win going to the guy that we figured would win.
Yes, the UAE rider. Um, so closing in on the finish, they still had 30 seconds on the chaser. It's 5K to go. They start the final climb was about to get going, and it was pretty obvious that they would stay away. Um, so it was the sort of veteran Morgado against the very untested national team rider, and Rob Hatch is about to gave us an amazing race, and my first of the year with him, and the Portuguese Morgado wins on his birthday.
Yeah, and I believe he won one of these races last year as well, so this is familiar ground for him. And he was in the mix on a couple of the other races as well. Yeah, nobody does it like Rob Hatch, man. It's just like another level. Um, so moving on.
That brings us to Thursday at the Trofeo Ses Salines, and this is the team time trial. So not a ton going on, but we do find out pretty quickly Remco Evenepoel is going to be racing in this, and so all of a sudden it completely puts all eyes on Remco. Obviously being the world champion time trialist, the Olympic, reigning Olympic gold medalist in time trialing. I mean, he is, I think, for all intents and purposes, we could say the best time trialist in pro, cycling right now. And they did not
And
disappoint.
we should mention that as we said in the intro, there's going to be a TTT at the Tour de France this year. Remco is going to the Tour de France this year, and present with him at this race, as will be at the Tour de France, your guy Florian Lipowitz.
Yes.
So they are there, and they are testing out the TTT setup, the whole team. Um, Now it's going to be
Yeah, I was going
the
to say there's going to be
different.
a difference in these two time trials. There's a
Yeah,
big
so
difference.
so and I'm with Adam Blythe on this one. They had a quite a discussion about it.
Hmm.
Uh, Blythe saying that the way they did it here in Mallorca is the way that it should be done. It's a team time trial,
Agreed.
so the team gets one time based off of uh,
The
you
last
know
four riders,
yeah, for the last four, and I've seen it in other races. It's been a different one. It's been the fifth, or it's been the second, or whatever.
but it's
Like,
typically a
um,
group.
yeah, and they don't take the time until
The
the last
fourth
guy.
rider goes over. Correct.
Whatever the number is that they've, which means that if you have a guy racing for GC, um, he could potentially lose seconds in his GC race, because his teammates are not as fast as him.
Hmm. This is
However,
true.
that risk is essentially taken out of it in the Tour de France style, like the way they're doing it in the Tour de France, which I think is a new thing in the Tour de France too.
It is.
Um, uh,
They're taking the first rider across.
Well, no, every rider gets their own
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it's like, why is this even a TTT? It's just like,
An individual.
yeah, it's weird. I mean, I guess in some situations where you don't necessarily, where your GC guy is not necessarily better at time trialing than the rest of the team, they can use that team as an advantage for them. But I really feel like in a case of like a Remco and a Pogacar this year, you're going to see those guys like stay with the team for a very brief amount of time and then be like goodbye. Especially, and there's also a lot of uphilling, I think, in the Tour de France one
Well,
as well.
and it's,
So
I mean,
Pogacar is
you're
just going to have to
essentially
do
just
it.
going to see an 8-man, lead out train where it's like, it's okay, here's the order. Everybody's going to bury the shit out of themselves until they're done. And then it'll be the next guy up, and it'll be the next guy up. It'll be the next guy up until you get to them. And then they're going to, they're going to give them one hardcore, strong last lead out. And then it's going to be up to them to get across the line.
Hmm. It'll be interesting to see what like the guys who are in, you know, eighth on GC, 10th on GC, like what.
What strategy they use.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, but I mean, if you figure for a guy like Remco, this, of course, you want to target this as because this is a potential place where he could actually pick up time. You know what I mean? He is good enough at this discipline that he has beaten Pogacar. He beat Pogacar 3 times last year.
Hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? Like he can beat Pogacar in a time trial. He can gain seconds on Pogacar in this particular format. So it'd be very interesting to see how Red Bull handles it, how Pogacar handles it, how
Yeah.
Vingegaard handles it. You know what I mean?
It's
Because all three of
but
those
remember
guys are
it's hilly.
great
It's
time
hilly though.
trials.
I think we might see that Pogacar and Vingegaard uh have an advantage on Remco because of the hilliness of the thing. I should have pulled up the profile beforehand, but we're not talking about the Tour de France. We're talking about the Trofeo Calvia. I
This is
mean
true. This
the
is true.
Trofeo Ses Salinas.
Um,
Um,
Red Bull, you know, essentially, I mean, they don't smoke the field, but they take it pretty great. Um, they left. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah.
well, it was Tudor setting a good early time.
Mm-hmm.
Jayco best them by just 2 seconds. And then inexplicably, Movistar slides into second.
Yes.
Slides
Well,
into
they
the
slid into
lead.
first, right?
Um, and they're only just barely beaten by Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe by 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So they by no means did they destroy the competition. Um,
0.05 seconds is all that they had. 5/10 of a second was their lead.
oh, I thought they won by 4 seconds.
And now it's 5/10 of a second.
Um, Remco sporting the goatee in his interview, feeling good. All the story, all
Looking
the
good, dude. Looking like very confident.
Yeah, all the press is saying that like the vibes on that team are really, really good right now. So
All right, well, that takes us to Friday to the Trofeo Serra Tramontana. And again, and we didn't know we didn't know, at least I didn't know what to expect from Red Bull for the rest of the week. But first thing, you really hear when the broadcast comes on is Remco is in the mix. A small break got pulled in, and then Remco smashed off the front.
yep.
And that was it.
By the by the way, it was 4 seconds.
I have .05.
Um,
Maybe there was like a preliminary thing. I don't know. Or maybe I put the point in and it should have just been 5 seconds. I don't know. But anyway, so again, back to the Serra Tramontana. Remco went off the front at 44K and he was gone. I mean, he went from 38 seconds to a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
He dragged that guy Adria Pericas of UAE for a while. Pablo Castillo of Movistar was also trying to hang in there. Castillo drops off over the top of that climb that was there at like 40 something K to go, and then that's ultimately you never actually got to see when Remco dropped him. They went over the top of the climb. He was still there. They cut back to the other guys lower down on the climb, and when it came back, Remco was all by himself, like blasting and down the downhill. And his gap just keeps growing and growing and growing.
That's why I said it. In successive, kilometers, he went from 38 to a minute and a half to 2 minutes. There was a 10 rider chase for second, and
I love how like on these downhills on this island, it's like they'll be whipping through these like sort of like desolate, like kind of it's not woods, but it's not like desert. There's just like sparse trees and stuff out there. And like all of a sudden in an instant, they're at the bottom of the hill and they're inside a little village and there's like, these stone buildings that are 12 feet apart on either side and they're whipping down these cobblestone streets. And it's just like so cool. I absolutely love watching this racing here. Yeah, the little bastard had it up over 2 minutes with 14 kilometers to go on this thing. I felt like he really kind of like, took it easy at the end just to kind of save his strength.
yep,
Why kill himself?
goes across the line, gives the old
Hangs it up, baby.
hangs up the phone, which is apparently now his signature. I mean, it's been his signature for a while now, but he seems seemingly doing it in all races at this point. Morgado, Scaroni, and Rondell sprint for the podium, and Morgado.
Yeah, that was a good little fight for second that played out behind those guys, so at least we got that because,
Morgado gets second and Scaroni gets third. That takes us to Saturday's race.
So Morgado at this point has gotten he's gotten a first
and a second,
a fourth, and now a second because he was fourth
in
on
the TTT.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the Trofeo Andrax, which is on Saturday. Remco in again. Race was shortened because of wind. I don't know if you clocked it, but I did put in my notes. There was a leaping Larry Warbass sighting in the mix with Tudor.
Yeah.
And I know you are a giant fan of leaping Larry Warbass.
I like Larry.
36K. The break had a minute and 33. There was a 9-person group with Remco, Rondell, Romeo, Morgado, Scaroni, Coulsat, Steinhauser, Van Gils, and Pescador.
Yeah, Van Hills did killer work for Remco this entire day. Lots of attacking work, keep pulling the brake back.
Pescador jumped off the front and
Yeah.
left Romeo with the main group. 25K. He had 52 seconds on the chasing group.
And guess who else was in there with him? Morgado, Rondell, and Scaroni from the day before.
Yep. 20.8K. It looked like he was going to get caught on that descent. Which that descent was gnarly. Because it was like it was very greasy on the downhill of that climb. Remco and Rondell are about to catch Pescador. Remco and Rondell had 14.
Well,
Sorry,
I like how he kind of slowly but surely dropped everyone on that climb. He's just like playing it smart, because the day before he went like way earlier, and here he is like leaving it much later, grinds everybody down on that climb, drops Pescador with that seated attack. That was nasty. Like when he was dropping those guys, it was nasty. You see Rondell and Pescador both out of the saddle, like doing everything they can to somehow try to hold on, and Remco's just in the front of them, just going just not even looking faced. Every once in a while he'd pop up out of the saddle.
Yeah. But nothing crazy. And, so you had from, 16 to 6.7, it was pretty much that same group. Then at 6.7, Remco and Rondell dropped Pescador, and
they had already dropped him. They had like 45 seconds on him by 6Ks to go.
And then
I'm thinking like Remco must have confidence in his sprint, because now I'm like, why is he not dropping him? Like he does not seem worried about Rondell at all. And then I realized, oh, that's right. There's a little climb with like 3Ks to go, and Remco is applying the pressure.
Yeah. So it's the two of them all the way up to the climb at 3K. And then it became a question of can Rondell hold on with him? Because
and Remco was toying with him.
Yeah. Also, I have a note in here. The motorbike got in the way of Rondell and kind of fucked him up on the climb. Which we've seen it happen before. It's obviously it's innocent. It's not meant to happen, but it definitely screwed up his cadence.
Well, yeah, and Remco also used a motorbike at one point. When he was attacking up the climb, the motorbike, the camera guy was just like snapping away right in front of him, and Remco threw in an attack, and he's freaking Remco. He can ride that bike fast, and like he had a slipstream from that motorcycle for a little bit before they pulled out. And I thought it was strange too, because the guy was just like taking all those pictures, and it was almost as if he had told the guy, "Hold on, don't leave yet. This is good. This is good shots I'm getting here," because like Remco is getting the advantage there for sure.
But yeah, so I mean, it was Remco's race to lose. I really will say that Rondell acquitted himself very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, once they got to like a K and a half to go, his head is starting to drop, and like you knew it wasn't going to happen. Yeah. So, Remco gets to hang up the phone once again and throw 3 fingers.
3 for 3 for Remco.
3 for 3. That is sick.
Rondell gets second. Van Gils the third. So it's a 1-3 for Red Bull. Very successful week for Red Bull. 3 for 3, and they went 3 in a row. And
Remco has now won 100% of the races that he's raced for Red Bull.
Yeah,
wonder if they're feeling good about their investment.
Yeah, big statement, to come out the gates with the wins. But I'm sure that that's been their plan. You know what I mean? You got to go to a smaller race, and you better show up with you know what I mean. Don't get beat in these races. That's for sure. Because that would be the story is, Remco got beat by, the B squads.
Yep.
So, I was glad to see that. That takes us to Sunday and the Trofeo Palma. And
I believe this is traditionally a sprint, so no Remco.
Yeah, there is no Remco today. And I forgot to write the winner in. I know that it's from Red Bull.
I didn't write a whole lot of notes on this one. I just kind of watched. It was going to be a sprint, so I just went and watched the uh, the bunch sprint. It was
Right.
an enormous bunch sprint. Yeah, Red Bull makes it 4 from 4. Their lead out man actually won. Arne Marit. He was supposed to be leading out somebody else, I can't remember, but found himself at the pointy end when it counted, and makes it 4 out of 5 wins in Mallorca for Red Bull, which is sick.
Yeah, they had a really, really good week, and they, like I said, they came out to make a statement, and the statement was made 100%.
Yeah, and it was in fact Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe that does their winter training camps in Mallorca.
Wow.
So they've already been there for several months, which makes even more sense that they should be successful there. Great group of races.
Yeah. So on from there, let's talk a little cyclocross.
Wait, what about the GP Marseilles?
Oh yeah. You that's sorry. I forgot about that one. Sorry, you're absolutely right.
You watched it, right?
I did the Cyclista de Marseille on Sunday.
And were you thrilled to see Matt Stevens on the call with that Sky
Matt
Steve
Stevens and Brian Smith on the call. Yeah,
Brian Smith, all right.
Yeah, 49K when the broadcast picks up, and I put a note in here. Did you see the racetrack that they went past, the La Castella racetrack?
No.
I meant to put a picture in. I forgot. It was just super cool. It's either an F1 or bike, motorbike racing track. Super, super cool.
I missed that.
Paul Apera went off the front, and literally you had the two people that I recognized the most in this race were Paul Apera and Brian Coquard. Those were pretty much your biggest names because most of your B-level main riders were in Mallorca. A lot of guys are still in Australia, so there's not a ton to draw from for this race. But you had, all the usual cast of characters in these small French races, Total Energies and Cofidis and, Lotto and FDJ. And so you had all of them, and it came down to a bunch sprint. And who won?
None other than Brian Coquard.
Which, if anybody out of that group, if he doesn't win, it's a complete fail for that team because he was by far the class of that group.
They had that guy Lucas Kubis was there, but he was just completely out of position. I mean, I he could have challenged for that as well. But you see the crash there at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dude from Kern Pharma just swung wildly across, like two bike riders full swinging across, and just boom. I think it was two dudes from the same team that went down on that one. But yeah, another sprint, and old Cofidis must be thrilled to have punched their ticket for 2026 already.
Yeah, that is for sure. One of the interesting things that did kind of unfold throughout the week of racing was that so I don't know if you know this, but Unibet Rose Rockets switched their country to France, hoping to get a bid to the Tour de France, which ultimately we found out early in the week that they did not get.
Yes, Hatch made the announcement, the breaking news announcement.
Yeah, that they had not been invited to any Grand Tour. Now, did you hear the subsequent news that the Giro was holding a final slot for any teams for a team that should have got a bid that didn't get a bid, and so Unibet Rose Rockets will be riding the Giro.
Interesting.
Yes. So, at least we will get to see those super cool jerseys. And by the way, not only super cool jerseys, super cool bikes. I don't know if you noticed that the bikes match the jersey. Ooh,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
By the way, I pulled up a photo of the Paul Ricard circuit, aka the La Castella racetrack. near Marseille, and wow, that
Isn't that
thing's
thing
cool.
cool?
That is, it's all like blue and red.
Yeah, and it's got like these weird lines through it.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Totally wild. I wonder if those lines, if it's just for show or if like they they help stop the cars, because it's like there's the red zone and there's the blue zone,
Right.
all of which are like out surround the track. It's wild. It's like the way the track is set up. It's on the inside of that ring, and then there's just like tons of space beside it that's just empty. So if cars go flying off there, like they're not crashing in anything for
Yeah.
quite some time.
Yeah.
Wild.
But super cool looking. Um. So on to cyclocross.
Yeah,
Did you get to watch any of this?
I watched both races.
Ooh. First off, I want to say this course,
So
cool as
cool.
shit. Like
So
the
cool.
way that
The part by the water where it
oh
goes
my,
past the water,
it
they
goes
have
across the water.
the drone shot over there where it's like they're like hanging on the edge of the water, and
And those that one downhill to the water. Oh my god, it's so brutal.
yeah. Not only and then also the way a lot of the little climbs were like grassed over. Um, they were really explosive. It's like you had to come at them like really fast. Um, and I mean, at one point, Vanderpool is literally catching air off the top of that thing. Did you catch that?
Yes. And if you didn't have enough speed, you were ended up running, and that was definitely a factor in all of the races.
Absolutely. You almost never saw the eventual winners of the race, not powering through those climbs.
Yeah,
Each
I
each and
think
every time.
Vanderpool ended up having to jump off his bike on like maybe the last lap
Hmm.
on that one. But those you had that extremely hard uphill and then the extremely steep downhill off of that same thing, but like on the other side
Hmm.
of the hill. And it was just that man. It was just such a cool course. You
I
were
mean, so I
absolutely
have.
right about the
Go ahead.
drone footage. The drone footage
Yeah.
was so good. With like they would do these tracking, drone shots of
Hmm.
especially in some of the straightaways. Ooh, so good.
Yeah, and that course was like there wasn't like a lot of sand or anything like
Mm-mm.
that. It was just a fast grassy course. Um, but because of the speeds and because it was pretty
It was
damp,
wet,
getting a little bit of
especially in
wheel
the men's
suck in
race.
different places, like you saw a lot of things going awry for people. The women's race was nuts. I mean, just like
Okay,
women
so
flying all over the place. And
let's get into the women's
um,
race. Six
okay,
laps. Um, your main protagonist being Lucinda Brand, Puck Petersa,
Carmen Alvarado,
yeah, Carmen Alvarado, and then so the three Dutch riders,
of
and
course,
then
the
of
women's
course,
cyclers lost.
um, what did you see the Belgian national champion? I didn't type in her name. Did you see when she had the wreck with the
Oh
girl
my
and she got
God.
disqualified?
Yeah. She pushed her.
Oh yeah, flat out.
Like,
They go down in this really soft spot, and I mean it was she was clearly in the wrong, but she did
eh,
not deserve to be like
I
pushed that
couldn't.
way.
I rewatched that thing on slow mo to try to see what it was that the woman did, and they only gave us one camera angle. It was from like
And it was the
across
wrong side.
a couple of woods,
Yeah,
and all the action happened behind a barrier, like the little
right.
course
She
defining
came
barrier. So
around and
you couldn't
probably was
see it.
way too close and put them both down, and that girl got pissed, and then she got disqualified mid
Yeah,
race.
as soon as she did that, as soon as I said, because like you almost never see
Never
that in women. I mean, you almost never see it in any cycling. People like actually like
get
having
physical. Yeah,
physical with each other off of the bike, right? And and uh, I immediately thought to myself, oh, there's no way she doesn't get DQ'd for that or something. Like there's no way there's not some kind of penalty for that. You can't do that. Like that just
yeah,
looks too bad. And I feel for her. It's in the heat of the moment. You kind of don't know what you're thinking. It's the freaking world championships, and in an instant, what's flashing through your mind is like, oh my, there goes
there
my
goes
chance.
any chance I had of podiuming this race.
Right. Not that she had any chance of putting in
No.
the race anyways, but yeah, I'm sure you saw the follow up, like when somehow they got the news to her while she was in the race.
Yeah.
She she was still in the race, and like
They
they
had
told
to.
her,
I
nope.
don't think they have race radio, so I think it must have been from from the side, like from the side of
Yeah,
the.
I was like speculating in my mind about that. Like, I wonder how that happens. Like, does some like, race official like jump out on the course? Hey, pull over or whatever. You're done. Like, how does that
Yeah,
happen?
who knows?
Or do they wait until she pulls in for a spare bike or what? I don't know. But what you saw was this overhead drone shot of her like coming across a little like wooden bridge and getting off of her bike and just seeming so distraught. And she just like pulls the bike off to the side. She's still on the live course and just sits down and like buries her head in her hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those situations where she knew I'm sure she knew in the moment that she fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
yeah.
sure that early on, like as soon as she did it, she probably realized, oh shit, and so
Hmm.
it was probably just a matter of time until until they stopped it. But
Yeah, and those minutes while she's riding along, like wondering what's going to happen, must have just
oh,
been so fucking bad for her. You got to feel for the woman. I mean, she shouldn't have done that by any means. It's not it does not have any place, in bike racing. But wow, yeah, that
so
was wild.
the super humble Lucinda Brand before the race said that she wasn't feeling well and she really did not have a lot of confidence in her ability. And early on, it looked like it was Puck Peters's race to lose, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Hmm.
And I think that Alvarado looked a little bit better as well. But just as has happened, and I know the streak has come to her podium streak did come to an end last week.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but Lucinda Brand acquitted herself so well in this race, capitalizing in the exact moments when she needed to, and she got a little bit of that distance. She never really gave it up, and was it a complete repeat of last year's podium? I believe so. I
I'm not
believe
sure.
I know that Puck Peterson was in third, and I'm pretty sure that Alvarado was second,
No,
or
Lucinda Brand
or
was
not
not.
Lucinda Brand, or who was who was the reigning champion? It was three Dutch riders again last
Yeah,
year.
but I think it's like
It
Fem
was
Van
Fem Van
Empel.
Empel. You're right. It was
Yeah,
Fem Van
yeah.
Empel. You're absolutely right. And then the other two. So, another 1, 2, 3 for the Dutchies on the podium in cyclocross. And Lucinda Brand caps off one of the absolute best seasons of cyclocross for any woman ever. And only to be rivaled by the guy who won the next race as
Yeah,
far
yeah.
as like amazing seasons of cyclocross go. And that brings us to the men's race where your main protagonist, as has been for the last 2.5 months, Matthew Vanderpool, the World Cup champion, Thibaut Nice and Tibor Del Grosso,
And I
and
believe Del Grosso is his
teammate.
road teammate, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, Thibaut Nace is basically the only other name in men's cyclocross that we have heard with complete regularity this year, and
He's had a very good year. He was having a really great year until Vanderpool came along, and
yeah, Vanderpool is just like the all conquering Tadej Pogacar of cyclocross, where it's just like
yes,
all these other guys like can only sit and wonder what could have been if I wasn't born at a time when like the greatest of all time was in his prime, like
just like. But I mean, like at this point, you have to say that he's the greatest of all time.
there's no question.
I mean, he is the greatest of all time at this point. He's won the world championship 8 times. He's got 2 World Cups. He's got record number of victories. Like, I mean, the guy is just literally for the last 2.5 years, he's been unstoppable. Like
Yeah,
you,
like well,
you can't
he's
beat
got
him.
he's got the win streak. He's got, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's just
there's
ridiculous.
no question about it.
It
He's
just goes on
the
and on
greatest
and on.
cyclocross racer ever. I thought it was cool the way that I have to believe that was Devlamic that was there on site and being very very gracious about everything. I mean, you can go through it if you want to, but it was
I mean, it was what it was. he won. Did you see they gave him like the frame jersey with the 8?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Roger de Vlamic was the guy on the left holding that thing.
Ah, that was
Um,
super cool.
it was interesting. Almost every single one of those little uphills, Vanderpool just powered through like a missile, and time again, Thibaut Nace kept getting caught up on that thing.
Yes.
Like so, he was just trying to play catch up the entire time. If he could have somehow navigated those a little bit better, we would have had a much better race on our hands. I think. I don't know that he would have still had any chance of winning because
The more
Vander
interesting race was the race for second and third between him
Del
and
Grosso.
Thibaut Del Grosso. Yeah.
My absolute favorite moment of the entire race, uh, and we did not get it in its complete form. I was trying to catch a screenshot of it, but I didn't get to it. After Vanderpool won, so Vanderpool comes across the line. He does what did he do? He stood up, of course, and then
He
he did some kind of
he
like
did
arm thing.
like a
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah. Uh, right after when the shot goes from him coming across the line, it was like kind of a wider shot from behind the finish line, and you see him come through, and just as he rides out of frame, they switch to a shot of Del Grosso, and he's behind, and he is at the point in the circuit where there's like one of those wooden ramps, where they kind of go up and then it flattens off and then it goes down. It's like a
Right.
completely built structure. um, Del Grosso pulled a bunny hop off the top of that thing and was like 3 feet in the air and like turned his front wheel.
I
I
didn't
don't know what you
notice that
call
at
that.
all.
Yeah, it was just a quick like a split second thing, and I was like, oh my God, that was sick. So I went back and like kept rewinding and trying to like freeze it like right at the start to see just how high he was. But that was a pretty good freeze frame. Go back and check that out.
I will.
It was wild.
I will. All right. Well, on that note, I think we'll take a break and come back and go for a cyclocross world championship ride in the Broom Wagon. Sound good to you?
Sounds good.
Stay with us. Welcome back. We're going to take another ride in the Broom Wagon. Matt, what do you got?
Mine will be quick this week, but I want to offer up a little conversation starter here. Uh, what's going on with the Simon Yates retirement? Have you been following this story?
That it seems like there's more than meets the eye to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I've I've caught some stuff to that effect.
So to catch people up, it's very strangely, Simon Yates made the announcement that he was retiring like what, a month ago,
Not
something
even
like
a
that,
couple weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. At the beginning of the season, this is just not a time that anybody ever announces a retirement. Like these things, especially for a guy like this, a huge career. Um, these guys go out on end of season, they schedule a race at their home area, like it's fanfare, and for him to roll into the beginning of this season with all things looking like he's it's business as usual, um and then to drop this is very, very unusual. So among some of the reasons that were given, I mean, he he basically said nothing as to the why in his letter, in his like retirement letter that they put out online. Um, when he made a statement, I think to the press or whatever, he said that it was like lack of motivation, right? Which also just seems very strange. Like that's kind of,
Especially
I mean,
considering
yeah,
that he won the Giro last year.
right. It just, yeah, it seems odd. Um, some other rumors circulating. He, um, does not, there's rumors that he was not a fan of how demanding of a schedule that Visma Lisa bike puts on their riders. He had somebody had caught him saying something about like he didn't like getting bussed around all over Europe after he wins the Giro. Um, there is also record of Jonas Vingegaard's wife kind of saying stuff along the same lines and not being happy with the way that the team is really, really demanding of its top riders. Um, so you throw that into the mix, then you got the whole Jonas to the Giro thing, which could really have him ticked off because he's the defending champion of the Giro. And
he's not. It's not like he's going to be leading Visma of the Tour. So
right, and just because Jonas is Jonas, he's kind of like, well, I don't really care. Like I'm the defending champion, and Jonas can wait to come and win this race, but he's kind of in this arms race with Pogačar to see who can be the first to all three, and he's got this like numerical advantage because the Giro falls before the Vuelta.
Yes.
Pog needs the Vuelta, Jonas needs the Giro, so Jonas can get there first in this race.
And Pog is not official on the Vuelta either.
Right. So you got all of that kind of playing into it, but the conventional wisdom online is, would you like to take a guess, or do you already know?
I don't know.
He got a positive doping test, and the team was like, nah, can't have that. You need to retire right now.
Really?
That's what the conventional wisdom seems to be. And I watched a little bit of Bob Roll and Brent Bookwalter chopping it up on that one on their
podium.
Beyond the Podium, but that's an NBC broadcast, and they didn't talk about it at all. And then you go to the comments of their video, and every other person is like, of course these guys won't discuss the elephant in the room. It's NBC. NBC doesn't want to talk about the big heroes, doping and stuff like that. They don't want any of that. And every single person in the comments is just like, it's got to be doping, got to be doping, got to be doping. Like, it's got to be. He would not have gone out like this. It has to be something absolutely major for him to do it like this. Either that, or we are really underestimating like the axe that he has to grind with his team for some reason. It's like, and from all about that team, like.
So if it's doping, do you think that he popped on one of their like in-house tests or on a UCI test?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Somebody was talking about his passport. Will take a hit, and it's like if he gets a positive doping, it's a 4-year suspension under the passport system. And he's like, and if it's 4 years, that's the end of his career. He's already towards the end anyways. So
interesting.
A story which I'm sure we will be continuing to follow as the weeks and months go by. However, far more interesting than the Simon Yates story is what you're about to talk about. So please take it away.
All right. So one of the most beautiful things about doing all of the show prep that we get into is that from time to time it will kind of change my algorithm. Okay. The things that YouTube is shuffling in front of my face. Mm-hmm. And in this case, it shuffled something in front of my face that I was like, what is this? And I clicked on it, and it might be okay, so we all know that Belgium is cyclocross crazy. All right. And, when cycling season is over and the cyclocross season starts, it is captivating for the country of Belgium, and it is big business as far as racing is concerned for those 2.5 months. So a YouTuber named Average Rob, who is like a big Belgian YouTuber, a couple of years ago decided to start his own cyclocross race called Turbocross. And this is like take cyclocross and turn it up to 11. Okay, crazy courses with like, you know.
Well, I liked what you compared it with in your notes. What did you say it was? It was the what of cyclocross?
Where is it? Oh, it's the Ninja Warrior of cyclocross. Yes.
Perfect.
So it's crazy. So a couple of examples in at least in the course that they developed. And so what they did is they created
run through the course first.
Yeah, so they create the cyclocross race, and it's got all these different wacky things. It looks like a regular cyclocross race, but then it'll have like at one point they had like a spiral where they like literally like go round and round and round and round and round and round to like a center point and then kind of go out.
It was made to be deliberately confusing. So what it was I mean, it's a single track. Everybody's going in one direction on this thing, but it's probably, 80 yards across. It's a big circle and they ride into it. And as they ride in, they're spiraling towards the inside. But
at the same time,
in between each one of the inbound loops, there's an outbound loop because they get into the middle and there's like a turnaround and then they start coming back out of this spiral again.
Correct.
And so when you're seeing it, you're seeing like multiple layers of riders going back and forth like this. So it's just like visually confusing.
And then
that's one of the obstacles.
At another point, they have like gates that get smaller and smaller where you're like you have to go under them and they get
it starts with the traditional cyclocross ones that you got to jump over,
right?
That's like a regular cross thing. It'll be like a foot, maybe 18 inches, like just a little hurdle, just like a solid wooden thing.
Hurdle's a perfect term.
And like some of them, you'll see riders bunny hop over. Other times they have to jump off the bike and leap over
the bike, right?
Well, at this thing, they get progressively larger.
Yeah, and progressively smaller.
Right.
So there's two different kinds.
It's like they go over the jumps coming this way. That's the other thing. The layout was so cool. They had like that. There was like a lake, or like a water thing, and they come down one side of it, and they have to hop over the things that get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they come around, and then they come back down the other side of it, and now they're going under these things that are getting progressively lower. And the symmetry of that design for that feature was like so cool.
At one point, kind of like in the World Champion cyclocross race, there's like a little dip that heads to the water. And if you watch the video, there's like at one point somebody goes in the water.
Yes.
So they put on this race. There's like a pro.
Wait, no, you got to talk about the other obstacle. They had the sand pit, but did you notice how it came to like a point? The sand pit section.
I guess I didn't.
Yeah. They had this gnarly sand pit section. It was really long. And as they entered it, it was like, 5 or 6 bike widths wide, but it progressively, as you went down this thing, and it was probably like a good, like 60 yards long, 70 yards long. It got narrower and narrower and narrower until like there was just like one rider width where they had to go through before they exited that feature. And of course it's like lined with screaming fans. And when you looked at it, it looked like you were just like riding into the crowd. Like the design on this thing was so good, so well thought through.
So you have that racing aspect of it.
And the tunnel. Don't forget
about
the tunnel.
Yes. There's a tunnel.
Oh my God, that was great.
So you have 4 races, 2 men's, 2 women's, 1 celebrity, one's like pros, all right, or amateur pros, like professional riders, people that ride cyclocross as a job essentially, and then you had like a celebrity. It's the part that really captured my imagination is like it seems like the coolest party you'll ever see. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's the great part about it is the party atmosphere. Oh my
God, it's just amazing. Like so many fans, and they're live streaming it, they're recording it, they had two different live streams. They said they had one in English, one in Belgian. Like, unbelievable, dude. Like, this thing is so cool. And, it's put on by a YouTuber of all people. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a professional cyclist. This isn't, it's some guy. And when you get to the end of it, if you watch the very end of the video, they have like a massive like party with like DJs, and it like literally looks like a music festival. And it's like, oh my God, dude, like what a cool ass thing for them to have done. You know what I'm saying? Like how like absolutely and utterly amazing is, what they, put together.
Yeah, I was just super cool. I mean, added to the bucket list of things that I would love to attend.
Oh my God, yes.
You gotta love a country like Belgium where they can do a celebrity cyclocross race and like get a whole bunch of known people that are fit enough to go out and ride a cyclocross race. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, it's insane. I mean, the cycling is so deeply ingrained into the DNA of these people. It's no wonder that an event like this can take hold over there and become that big that quickly. Shout out to Average Rob too. I love this guy. Like, what a great personality he is, and I really love the way that video.
Subscribe to it.
And I love the way that video took you through the entire behind the scenes of that entire thing. Like from his point of view, the organizer, he's the most inside person on this entire thing. And he's right there taking you through the whole thing.
And there's
a
lot of great like moments where he's like, I gotta be involved in this shit because I'm the organizer. Like, I can't just go and have fun. Like I have job to do.
I love their little studio and like how he gets to go and see it for the first time. You're seeing him like seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, he's got big sponsors in this thing. Red Bull's all over it. Red Bull did one of the hosts, like literally was like the host of one of the streams. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show that, there is a world of cool shit that we just don't know about. And it's like, can you imagine if like the middle of our country, like in January and February down in, Georgia and maybe Tennessee or something like that, and we had cyclocross racing like for 2 months.
I mean, there is cyclocross racing happening in America. There's also like gravel racing, and there's also like, there's like the Belgian waffle ride, which is like a massive gravel party situation. And I mean, we have, I mean, are we on the scale of them? No. Will we ever be? No. But we got some stuff. We got some stuff here.
Like this was just a revelation, man, of something that I just didn't know that existed, and
it's beyond cool.
Couldn't have had more fun, kind of, getting into it and looking at it. So, and I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for it next year and try to, watch it live when it happens.
The guy must live stream it on his YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. Well, there was two different streams. There was a Belgian and an English stream.
Yeah. So for sure,
I'm so in on this.
We can't forget about that. We'll have to put some kind of reminder out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's really it. I did have one last little thing, just because of the day this episode drops. It's gonna be Mom's birthday. I want to shout out Mom. Tell her happy birthday, Mom. We're sure that you're listening. So, when you get to this point, know that we were thinking about you, and we love you, and we appreciate your being our number one fan, and we hope you have a great birthday.
I agree. I second the emotion.
Right.
And I did want to mention also quickly that the winner of the women's Pionera race was Ariana Fidanza of Laboral. Consider that race covered.
Consider it covered. All right, that's all for this week. Join us next week for lots of stage racing action with the coverage of the Étoile de Bessèges, the Volta Valenciana, the Women's UAE Tour, and probably even more than that. Until then, for my brother Matt, I'm Justin Harper. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll join us again soon for another ride on the team bus. Ale.
The Team Bus is a production of Harperama. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like and subscribe, smash that button, leave a 5-star review, and most importantly, tell all your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Ale!